Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Krishna, Premasindhu, Gauranga, Number pronounced. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Number pronounced, Prabhu. Prabhu, can you just turn on your video, please?
Yeah. Just 1 minute.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Number pronounced. Thank you for joining us and giving your association today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think your video got turned off.
Yes, yes. Just switching on one light.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya on a Saturday morning. Today we have the privilege of having His Grace Gauranga Prabhu after quite some time now. Today Prabhu will be covering Canto 4, Chapter 30 and verse 32. Prabhu, over to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhu, you can just share the verse on the screen.
I'll do that, Prabhu. Sure.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna. So, I'm very happy to again associate with all the Bangalore devotees after a long time. In between, we had a very auspicious event here, the Bhumi Pujan of the new land which we have got by mercy of Giriraj. So we were busy with so many activities. So now after a long time, we are happy to be back with all of you. So today we are going to study a wonderful verse from the fourth chapter of Srimad Bhagavata. So this is 4.30.32. So this verse, it speaks about um, the attractive nature of Krishna and what happens because of that attractive nature of Krishna. Once you get Krishna, once someone gets the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, then they don't want to leave. So we'll discuss about this. That what is it about Krishna's lotus feet that once someone gets the taste of those lotus feet, he does not want to leave them. So why Krishna is the object of worship and why Krishna has that quality. So that is what this verse is telling us. Okay, so let us recite this verse. I'm going to recite it. पारिजाते अंजसा लब्धे सारंगोन्यन्न सेवते त्वदांघ्रि मूलम आसाद्य साक्षात् किं किं वृणीमहि पारिजेतेर्जस लब्धे सारंगोन्यन्न सेवते त्वदांघ्रि मूलम आसाद्य साक्षात् किं किं वृणीमहि. So Parijata is the celestial tree, the Parijata tree. So of course we know that Parijata tree is found on this earth planet also. In the purport, Prabhupada says it's not found. So there Prabhupada is mentioning about the specific Parijata tree, which is Kalpavriksha tree. That is not found on the earth planet. So it's found in the spiritual world, and also sometimes it is found in some heavenly planets. So that tree is not of a spiritual nature, but it has some qualities which the spiritual trees also have. So that was the tree which was brought by Krishna for Satyabhama. So Parijata is the celestial tree. Then Anjasa means completely. Labdhe is having achieved. Sarangah is bee. So the bee who is going and searching for nectar she is called as Saranga. Anya is other, na sevate, does not resort to or does not serve. Twatangri is your lotus feet. Mula, the root of everything. Asadya, having approached. Sakshat is directly Kim, means what? Rinimahi means may ask. May be asked. So the verse is saying, Dear Lord, when the bee approaches the celestial tree called the Parijat, it certainly does not leave the tree because there is no need for such action. Similarly, when we have approached your lotus feet and taken shelter of them, what further benediction may we ask of you? So the bee is searching for nectar, for some juice. And if it gets to a place where the best kind of nectar or juice is available, then what is the need for her to leave that place? So here the Parijat tree is compared to the lotus feet of the Lord, or getting the association of Lord or attainment of the Lord, which is called as prayojan. So Prabhupada is writing in the purport, when a devotee is actually engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, his engagement in itself is so perfect that there is no need to ask for further benediction. When a bee approaches the parijat tree, it gets unlimited supply of honey. There is no need to go to another tree. If one is fixed in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, there is unlimited transcendental bliss. And as such, there is no need to ask for further benediction. The parijat tree is not commonly found within this material world. So basically, here Prabhupada is saying that, as we discussed, that everybody is searching for pleasure. And there are different types of pleasures which are mentioned in the scriptures. So there is pleasure in tamoguna, rajoguna, sattva-guna. In sattva-guna also, then there are different degrees of pleasure in different heavenly planets. In Brahmaloka, there is also pleasure. In Indraloka, there is also pleasure. In between also there is pleasure. And then there is a pleasure found in the spiritual world. In impersonal Brahmajyoti also, there is not absolute pleasure, but the absence of pain, it gives some kind of pleasure. To becoming one with Brahman, that itself is a wonderful feeling. But that is considered as hellish by the Vaishnavas. Kaivalyam narakayate. So the Vaishnavas, they want to go to, they don't want to merge in the Brahmans. They want to go to Vaikuntha. Now in Vaikuntha also, there is spiritual pleasure. It's a completely different quality of pleasure. Now in Vaikuntha also, there are different expansions of the Lord. Every expansion of the Lord has its own mood. And there is a different kind of pleasure which is associated with association of that particular personality of Godhead. And then there is Krishna, who is the sum total of all the personalities in Vaikuntha. And if you go there to Krishna, then you get all types of juices. Like Prabhupada is writing here now. The Parijata tree is also known as Kalpavriksha or wish fulfilling tree. One can get anything he desires from such a tree. In material world, one can get oranges from an orange tree, mango from mango tree. But there is no possibility of getting oranges from a mango tree. So if you go to a particular Vishnu Murti, there is a particular type of mood there, which is very prominent. If you go to Krishna, then all types of moods or rasas, mellows can be fulfilled. So if someone attains Krishna, then what is the need for him to go anywhere else? Or he will not go anywhere else. That is what it says. So just like this transcendental parijat tree, it's like a kalpavriksha tree. It can give any fruits, any flowers. So whatever you want, that tree is going to give you. So why should you go to any other place? And also, the kind of fruits and flowers which that tree is going to give you, they are the best of the best. So you don't have to go searching for anything else. Then Prabhupada says further, this tree is found in the spiritual world. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpavriksha lakshardeshu surabhi ravi kalyanam. So the spiritual world, Chintamani Dham, is surrounded by these kalpavriksha trees. But scroll down. But the parijata tree is also found in the kingdom of Indra. that is on Indra's heavenly planet. So this Parija tree was brought by Krishna to please Satyabhama, one of his queens. And this tree was implanted in Dwarka mansions constructed for the queens. The lotus feet of the Lord are exactly like the Parijat trees or wish fulfilling trees. And the devotees are like Saranga, bumblebees. They are always attracted by the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, so you can stop sharing now. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantika Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Savadajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Savagana Valita Shri Vishakhantam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopida Kanta Radha Kanta Namasu Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatiruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Vandanaya Chananda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Hare Krishna. So in this verse, we are studying about the attainment of the Lord. If someone attains the lotus feet of the Lord, then what is the need for him to go anywhere else? Because Krishna is the reservoir of all rasas. Prabhupada has written one book, Krishna, the reservoir of pleasure. So all kinds of pleasure, rasas, are to be found in Krishna. And so when one attains Krishna, then one need not look for anything else. So in the Vedas, all over the Vedas, three things are explained: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. So what is Sambandha? Sambandha is the foundational knowledge which is necessary to start the life of devotion. What could be the foundational knowledge? This foundational knowledge is the understanding of the relationship between the Jivatma, Paramatma, and Prakriti. And also, basically, this is the foundational knowledge. And more specifically, the relationship between the Paramatma and Jivatma. That is called as Sambandha. So this is necessary for us to get out of ignorance, avidya, ajnana, understand who we are, who Krishna is, and to develop a relationship with Krishna. Also to understand Prakriti, how the Prakriti works, how to get out of Prakriti, why we are caught in Prakriti, etc. Then the next stage is Abhideya. What is Abhideya? Abhideya is the means of practice to attain a certain goal. So what is that practice? The means of practice is called as sadhana. And we are the sadhaka. And the means of practice is to attain the desired goal. What is that desired goal? It is called as sadhya. In case of Gaudiya Vaishnavas, what is the sadhya? It is prema bhakti. Spontaneous, unalloyed, loving devotion to Krishna or the divine couple. So this is called as sadhya, prema bhakti. So this is called as abhideya, the practice which we perform to attain the goal, our goal. What is our goal? Our goal is to attain prema bhakti. So the process which has to be followed for that is called as abhideya. Third thing is prayojan. What is prayojan? Prayojan is the ultimate aim, which is the focus of everybody's life who is practicing devotional service. What is that? To attain Krishna, to attain one's, to be situated in one's own swarupa. This is called as liberation. So, swarupena vivasthiti, that is the definition of liberation for Vaishnavas. To get situated in one's own swarupa or to attain Krishna. So this verse is speaking about attaining Krishna. Someone who has attained Krishna, why he should go elsewhere? Definitely there is no need of going elsewhere. He'll also not go elsewhere. So that is a scientific process. So after attaining that goal, he is not going to look elsewhere. That Krishna very specifically teaches in Bhagavad Gita also in many places that once someone attains that platform, then one is not going to go back. So, Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojan. Here, Prayojan is explained. Attainment of the lotus feet of Krishna, fulfillment of all desires. All desires are fulfilled when one attains Krishna. So, what is the ultimate goal of life in this world for all the living entities? It is Prayojan. It is to develop love for Krishna. So, our acharyas, they have given a very beautiful verse. It says, Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesh Tanayas Tadham Vrindavanam Ramyakachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana Malam Prema Pumartho Maha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor Matamidam Tatradarhana Paras. So, Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesh Tanayas Tadham Vrindavanam Ramyakachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita. So, who is the highest object of worship? It is Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking about Brajendra Nandan Krishna. So, not any Krishna also, because Krishna manifests different moods also. All the rasas are there in Krishna. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking about Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadham Vrindavan. So, the Krishna who is Brajesha Tanaya, the son of Nanda Maharaj. And what is his place of residence? Not Mathura, Dwarka, but Vrindavan. So, Brajendra Nandan Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Braja means the place where the cows are grazing. So sometimes Vrindavan is also called as Forest Vaikuntha. Prabhupada writes in one of the purports. Vrindavan is, Goloka is a forest Vaikuntha. In other Vaikuntha planets, there is a lot of opulence. It's like a huge city with everything made up of gold and jewels, and And Vrindavan is just like Vrindavan you see here, forest. But every particle of dust here is more valuable than Vaikuntha. That's what Mahaprabhu told Venkatavatta. So, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Nandan, he used to be worshipped. That is the object of worship. So, Just 1 minute. I have to switch to another Wi-Fi. Just give me 1 minute. You're still able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Your video also is very clear.
Just a minute. So we were discussing that the object of worship is Krishna. The verse is saying that once you go to Krishna, you don't have to leave. So we are discussing why it is so. So the object of worship is Brajendra Nandan Krishna. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling here, Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Teras. So he is not asking to worship Paramatma, Brahman, or other Vishnu Murtis like Ram, Narsimha, Vamana. So also during pastimes of Krishna, he appears in various forms, in various moods, like Mathuradish Krishna, then Krishna in Kurukshetra, Dwarkadish Krishna. So Krishna also manifests different moods in his pastimes. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has specifically stated that we should worship Nandanandan Krishna. Why it is so? The answer is that we can worship Nandanandan Krishna in the context of any possible relationship that we desire. On the other hand, we cannot establish or participate in different types of relationship with Krishna, with the Supreme Lord in his form as Narayana or other Vishnu Murtis. So generally Narayana, he displays a very majestic form of God. And so we can only have a friendship, relation of friendship with him from a distance. Generally friendship is not there, it is awe and reverence, Shantaras and Dasyaras, but sometimes the Saksharas is there, but that is from a distance only. So 2.5 rasas are explained in Vaikuntha planets. So Shanta, Dasya and Gaurav Sakya. So persons fear going near to Lord Narayan, becoming too intimate with him, because he is playing the role of a majestic king. So his devotees, they may become his friends, but their intimacy is inhibited by Gaurava. Gaurava means um, awe and reverence. So other moods like parental affection, conjugal love, they are absent here. So those who wish to serve the Supreme Lord as a firm friend, or their son, or in the mood of conjugal love, this is not possible. This is only possible with Krishna. So in Krishna, the cowherd boy of Vrindavan, all sorts of intimate relationships are possible. And the topmost of that possible relationships is Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita. So the amorous worship of the gopis for Krishna, that is the highest. So the gopis, they have engaged all their senses to the fullest extent in the service of Krishna. And amongst all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the personification of service to Krishna. So she is the best of the gopis. She is the personification of his internal potency, of ecstatic love. And her love toward Krishna is beyond any comparison. It is the benchmark of loving Krishna. Radharani's love is the benchmark of how Krishna should be loved. So in Krishna, we find so many rasas, 12 rasas, which are explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. You know, rasa is a form of a relationship. So just like the verse is telling, that the parijata tree, it can give all the rasas, orange, apple, mango, or the fruit, flowers also. You can get a rose flower, you can get a parijat flower, you can get a jasmine flower. All the rasas are available there. So there are 12 rasas which are explained in the scriptures. 5 are primary rasas that we all know. Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. In addition, there are 7 other rasas, secondary rasas, which are called as Gauranga rasas, secondary rasas. So what are these? One is Hasya, laughter. Then there is Adbhuta, astonishment. There is Veera, heroism. Then there is Karuna. Karuna means compassion, or just like a parent feels towards a child, the protective feeling, that is called as Karuna. Then Raudra, this anger. Then Bhayankar, fear. Vibhatsa is disgust. So all the different secondary rasas are also explained. And all these rasas are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is related that when Krishna goes to Mathura and he's going to kill Kamsa, and Kamsa is thinking that I have built this great stadium, and now I am going to invite all the inhabitants of Mathura and Braja to come here to participate. And there will be a big wrestling match, and I'm going to invite my best of the soldiers, Chanur and Mushti. And the wrestlers will fight with Krishna and his brother Balram, and both of them will be killed. So that is Kamsa's rasa. So Kamsa is making arrangement, and many visitors are coming to watch the wrestling match. And Krishna and his elder brother Balram, they are making their entrance into the wrestling arena. And all the spectators, they are seeing Krishna in different ways. So the 43rd chapter of the 10th canto is describing this. The 12 rasas are manifesting here. So the first rasa is Veer ras, the warrior ras. The wrestlers who are going to fight with Krishna, they are feeling Veer ras. They want to fight with Krishna. And the ordinary spectators who are sitting in the stadium, they are feeling the Adbhut ras. They are finding that this blue boy and white boy, they are so wonderful human beings. Perhaps they don't know that they are Supreme Personality, witnessing the Supreme Lord. So they are thinking that what kind of wonderful human beings are these two? So they are feeling Adbhutaras. And the gopis who are sitting there, they are seeing Krishna as their most beloved, so as their husband. So they are seeing this, the Madhurya Rasa is manifesting. All the friends of Krishna who are accompanying Krishna, they are seeing Krishna as his Swajana. his own. They consider Krishna as their own. So there is some hasyaras there. Hasyaras is joking mood. So in Sakya, when there is hasya, it um, increases the love of Sakya. And these things are found even in the material world. So of course that relationship is not on a spiritual platform, but that reflection is found here also. You see that boys are roaming around together and laughing. It gives them so much happiness, cracking jokes about everybody. So Krishna and their friends are also doing like that. For example, Madhumangal, when he steals Krishna's sweets, he creates a very humorous atmosphere. So this humorous rasa, hasya rasa is secondary, but the principal rasa is sakya rasa. And sakya rasa inspires, or when we see hasya rasa in sakya rasa, it inspires the feelings of love more and more. Then those who are of an oppressive nature, crooked people, so when they saw Krishna, they thought their punisher has come. So they are very much afraid because they saw Krishna as very angry, wrathful, and they thought that now Kamsa is going to be finished and then our days will be finished also. So this is called as Bhayankar Rasa. And all the parents, they saw their beloved child when they saw Krishna. This is Vatsalya Rasa. And Karuna Rasa, that is sympathy, pity, compassion, or protective feeling, that is also part of Vatsalya Rasa. It's a secondary aspect of Vatsalya. So when they saw the sort of thing that is happening before them, that a small child is going to oppose this, mountain-like formidable wrestlers, Chanur and Mushtik, they felt pity or sympathy. This is called as Karuna Rasa, which is included in Vatsalya Rasa. And when Kamsa saw Krishna, he saw that death personified is standing in front of him. It's a very dreadful thing, So he is feeling dread. The yogis who are there were some yogis also. They are seeing Krishna as the supreme truth in Shantaras, the supreme truth. So while the Yadavas, who are the relatives of Krishna, they are seeing Krishna in a Dasyaras, the mood of service. So we find that all the 5 principal rasas and 7 secondary rasas, they are present in Krishna alone. So this kind of relationships cannot be found in any other personality. So we experience all kinds of rasas by serving Krishna, but we cannot obtain the same result by serving other personalities, other forms of the Lord. What to speak of material personalities like demigods? Definitely they cannot give spiritual pleasure. They might give us material pleasure. But spiritual pleasure also, you cannot experience all these kinds of rasas. Only by serving Krishna alone or by attainment of Krishna, one can experience all these rasas. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So basically this is the why I'm telling you about the rasas, because it is like the Parijata tree example which Prabhupada gives in the purport. The Parijata tree, it gives all the different types of nectar. That's why the bee does not have to go anywhere else. So the best place for the bee is to be with the Parijata tree or the Kalpavriksha tree, which can give everything. Similarly, Krishna is the best of the best, and he can give experience of all the rasas. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is writing in Chaitanya Charitamrita that there are 50 kinds of divine qualities which can be found in the jiva in very minute quantity. Then 5 more qualities can be found to a little fuller extent in Lord Shiva and Brahma. So 55 in Shiva and Brahma. 5 more qualities are present in their fullest form, not partial form, in other Narayana Murtis. So Narayana Murtis, how many qualities? 60 qualities. So Narayana Murtis or Vishnu Murtis, they have 60 qualities fully. Shiva and Brahma, they have these qualities in a fuller extent, but not complete, like Vishnu Murtis. And ordinary Jivas, they have the 50 qualities in a minute quantity. Now there are 4 other qualities which are present only in Krishna. 64 qualities Krishna has. So 60 qualities are there in Lord Narayana. And Krishna has 4 extra qualities. What are those? These qualities are incomparable qualities because they are from there sweetness is dripping. This kind of sweetness is not found anywhere else. Krishna himself is bewildered by his own sweetness. He is attracted by his own sweetness. And so that's why these 4 qualities are very, very special. What are these? This is Leela Madhurya, Roop Madhurya, Venu Madhurya, and Prema Madhurya. So the Madhurya of Krishna's Leela, his Rupa, his form, and his Venu, when he plays flute, different things happen. The sweet sound of his flute, it is basically the manifestation of his love for the living entities, and also Prema Madhurya. So the sweetness of his love. So Krishna has many wonderful pastimes, in which he assumes a very, very sweet form. And this kind of sweet form is not to be found in other Vishnu Murtis. That's why Krishna is very, very attractive. And he can also give access to all the rasas. So he does not appear in a very gigantic figure with all kind of weapons. He does not fight with Putana, the witch, but rather appears as a baby. And he kills her by sucking her breast, exhibiting sweetness towards her. So this is the wonder of Krishna's Leela. Also, we find that even while keeping his own sweet form, Krishna is lifting Govardhan on the small finger of his hand. And it's not that he is assuming some gigantic form, to fight some demon. He is playing, his flute, and then the small boy Krishna, he is subduing Kalia, the great serpent, and he is jumping on the 1,000 hoods of Kalia. So in no other form you will find such wonderful, sweet pastimes. And Krishna's associates, they are also very sweet. This is also one type of a special quality which is attributed to Krishna, a special kind of Madhurya. The Madhurya of his associates. The kind of associates which he has, they are very, very special. Those kinds of associates are not with any other Vishnu Murtis. So his friends, they'll climb on his shoulder, pluck the fruits, and then they taste the fruits to see whether they are good before giving to Krishna. So much affection and intimacy is there. So there is no majestic aspect there. So they are thinking of Krishna as their own intimate friend. And the parents are thinking as that he is their son. So Mother Yashoda is trying to discipline him And she's thinking that if I don't discipline him, then in future he will not be a very good son. So Nanda Maharaj is asking Krishna to go and bring his slippers. So what kind of God is this? Someone is asking Krishna to go and bring his slippers, and Krishna goes and he fetches the slippers, putting them on his head. So, and then there are the gopis whose love cannot be compared to anything else. Their love is incomparable. So they are leaving behind all the duties, everything, and they are going in the direction of the flute, the sound, wonderful song of the flute. So the song of the Krishna's flute is so enchanting, intoxicating, that mesmerizing, that by hearing the sound, Yamuna begins to flow in opposite direction. And everything becomes so beautiful when Krishna plays his flute, that Krishna himself is attracted by his own beauty and love. And so there is no one who is greater than Krishna. So because of Krishna's sweetness, you know that Brahma, the creator, he also gets confused sometimes. So Brahma is seeing that after killing Aghasura, so Krishna is walking in the forest with his friends. And Brahma is thinking that how he can be Swayam Bhagavan. He is the son of Nanda Maharaj. He is one of the beings which I have created. He cannot be Bhagavan. So, and he's a cowherd boy. He has no opulences. Milkman. You know. So he's walking in the forest with the cowherd boys. He is wearing a garland of forest flowers, and he has a peacock feather in his hair. Those are his ornaments. He's not like Vishnu, who is having a big golden crown and all those things. So how can anyone say that he is Bhagwan? So this ordinary milkman or a cowherd boy, he cannot be Bhagwan. So, and then he is also saying that when Krishna is very fond of picnics, so he comes to the bank of the lake with his friends, and the cowherd boys, they have brought food from their home. Everybody has brought their own lunch boxes, and they have hung it on the trees. And that is a picnic spot. Every day they choose a different picnic spot in the forest. And meanwhile, some cowherd boys steal some other people's lunch box also. So when the time comes for them to take their lunch, then they take down their lunch bags from the trees which are hung on the trees, the cloth bags which are there on the trees. And first they start feeding Krishna. But they feed Krishna only after testing that the food which is prepared by their mother is very wonderful, tasty. And if that food is very good, then they say that Krishna, this tastes very good. You should try some. My mother has made this nice laddu. You should try. So like this, all the cowherd boys are feeding Krishna, and Brahma is coming and watching, and he's saying that all the cowherd boys, they are not some great kshatriyas or brahmanas, ordinary boys coming from families of milkmen. So they are feeding the remnants to this boy. So he's thinking this cannot be Bhagwan. So, and then Krishna takes a mixture of curd and rice in his left hand, and in between his fingers, he is putting different pickles like this. And in the Vedic text, it is said that one should not take food from the right hand. From the left hand. They should take food from the right hand only, not from the left hand. And this fellow is putting this curd and all that in his left hand, and everything is dripping down, and he's going to eat it now. So Brahma is wondering that what kind of Vaishnava etiquette is this? So does not look like Krishna. So one should. So this is the thing about Krishna, that great personality they cannot understand. So Krishna is exhibiting different flavors, and sometimes even great personalities, they will not understand Krishna's greatness, because he's like the Parijat tree who can exhibit all the different flavors, all the different rasas. But someone who has got the association of Krishna and they don't want to leave, like the Gopas and the Gopis. It is explained in Bhagavatam that after doing penances, austerities, and punyas for thousands and millions of lives, now these cowherd boys, they have got this opportunity to become friends of Krishna. They are sitting with him as his friends and eating. So that is something very, very special and very, very rare. So that is why someone who attains Krishna, then they're not interested in anything else. So sometimes the cowherd boys, they see that some demigods are coming and they're worshipping Krishna with some very expensive paraphernalia. But still they don't find it much interesting. They just are interested in their regular activities, in their own mood. So in Krishna Lila, we find so many different examples like this. So Rupa Goswami, he has written one song. It says about attraction to Krishna, speaks about attraction to Krishna. The verse here, it spoke about developing attraction to Krishna. Just like the bee, when she is attracted to the parijat tree, or when she goes and sits on the parijat tree, then she does not want anything else. She'll forget about everything else, because whatever she ever wanted, whatever she ever dreamt of, or whatever she could not even dream of, all those things are available in the parijat tree. So Rupa Goswami gives a similar example here, that how after attaining Krishna, then one will forget everything. Basically, one does not have to go anywhere else. What it means? It means that one will forget about everything else. So Rupa Goswami is telling everybody that if you're attached to your material friends and activities, etc., belongings, then don't come to Vrindavan. Otherwise, you're going to forget everything. So it's a very wonderful song which Rupa Goswami has written. Bandhu Sange Yadi Tavaranga Parihastake Abhilas. So what he's saying, that if you still desire, my dear friend, Rupa Goswami says, if you still desire to amuse yourself with your friends, you should not go to Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan, you should specifically not go to Keshi Ghat. Why? Because in Keshi Ghat, a danger is lurking. My God, what is that danger? What kind of danger is lurking there? The danger is Sri Hari, Krishna himself, who has taken the form of Govinda. And what is the danger? Danger is that if you go there to Keshi Ghat and if you see him, Govinda, you will not be able to return to the customary amusements, your regular activities, your ordinary household life. That is the danger. So the look of his eyes, his crooked glance is very dangerous. Prabhu Goswami is warning. So Nayana Bankima Drishti Mukhe Mandahas. Krishna has Bankima Drishti, his crooked glance. Everything about Krishna is crooked. The way he speaks, the way he stands, the way he looks, the way he thinks, everything is crooked about him. But that crookedness has so much sweetness also, which binds a devotee to him. So he is looking in a crooked way. So if you are going to Keshi Ghat and if his crooked vision happens to fall on you, then you will not be able to come out of that vision. You will be trapped. So Lord Narayana is a straight person. Lord Ram is a straight person. But this fellow, Krishna, he is having Bankima Drishti. He is a crooked person. And if something crooked goes inside you, it's very difficult to take it out, isn't it? If something straight goes inside, it can be easily taken out. But Krishna is a highly crooked person. And if he enters inside you through his crooked glance, then you will not be able to take him out. That is a danger, very dangerous. And his color is like that of a rain cloud. Varna Samujjvala Shyama. So you'll find that in the springtime, the leaves of the trees are very fresh. And similarly, Krishna is also very fresh, like the fresh leaves in the rain. So Krishna is not old, he's young, adolescent. And the lips or his mouth are very dangerous. And also the peacock feather on his head is very dangerous. If you see all these items, you will not be able to go back to your regular household life. That is the warning which Rupa Goswami is giving. So Rupa Goswami says, if you want to have fun with your friends, you should not go to Vrindavan, specifically Keshi Ghat, and then you should not look at Krishna. So otherwise you will be trapped like the bee who goes to Parijat flower. Then you don't want to go anywhere else. Unfortunately, we are all conditioned souls. At least I am. Some of you might not be. So we go to Vrindavan, we stay in Vrindavan, we see Krishna's form also in the temple and so many places. And we still come back. We are not attracted. So we do not have that kind of devotion. So if anybody, they truly want the greed for Govinda, like Rupa Goswami is explaining here, he should not return to his mundane life. His worldly relations will be destroyed. The greed for devotion is developed by associating with those who have greed. And by their grace, it becomes possible for us to attain Krishna Prema, the divine love of God, which is the prayojan, the ultimate goal of life. That is the attainment of Krishna, which is explained in this verse. So we can stop here. Any questions?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful explanation to this. Yeah, I mean, it's so appropriate to actually compare with Parijata tree. As I said, everything you get there, so what more can you get? And you very nicely explained with reference to the various rasas, the 12 rasas, the 5 primary and 7 secondary, and also how Krishna has Prabhupada very wonderful, the reservoir of all pleasure. It all comes together when we see it, the mood of Acharya, everything comes so beautifully here. And you talked about the 4 unique this which Krishna has an unlimited of sweetness, both the Leela Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya, Veda Madhurya, and Prema Madhurya. Very, very nicely you explained that as well. And how Srila Rupa Goswami actually wants of, not if you're not ready, don't go to Vrindavan, because once you go to Keshigat, we have the crooked Krishna there who's going to steal the heart. So very, very beautifully said, Prabhu. And you said the greed for Govinda can be developed only by associating with one who has greed. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was a very, very, very sweet. I would say the entire class was so sweet. Prabhu, can you just clarify before I open to others to say, what should be our mood? Yeah, we are conditioned, yes, but what should be our mood when we actually go to these dhams, especially Vrindavan? You can explain that.
Yes, so we go to Vrindavan and Dham to hear. You see, it is explained by our acharyas. There is a beautiful book which is written by Raghunath Das Goswami, which is called as Mana Shiksha. So in the commentary of Mana Shiksha, it is explained that why the Vaishnavas, they go to Holy Dham. So they go to the Holy Dham definitely because Krishna has performed his pastimes there. But more importantly, because Krishna's devotees have also stayed there, and not only that, they have composed divine transcendental literature staying in that place. For example, Chaitanya Charitamrita was composed at Radhakund, and so many other literatures. They are composed in Navdeep and Braj, other places, Jagannath Puri. So the explanation is given that the real transcendental bliss which we are all looking for, ultimately we are doing any activity for transcendental bliss, whether it is going to Dham or whatever. So that real bliss can be attained when we access those writings of the previous acharyas which were composed in that holy Dham. Those teachings of the acharyas, they have given the Dham that extraordinary sweetness potency, which is accessible to us who are conditioned souls. So someone who is on the platform of Bhava Bhakti, they can directly access Krishna's pastimes also in the Dham. But those who are not, then they should access that transcendental bliss, sweetness, through the literatures which were composed by the acharyas in the Holy Dham. So that should be our mood, that when we go there, so we should think that, okay, Krishna has performed his pastimes here. This is the place where Krishna has walked. This is the same dust. Then we should also think that this is also the same place where the great acharyas, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they have walked. Srila Prabhupada has stayed here. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, they have visited here so many times. And not only that, so many wonderful literatures have been composed here. And then when we go to the Dham, we should hear from those wonderful literatures. So that should be the mood.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. And Prabhu, you talked about the Shiksha. It was around Prabhu?
Yeah. Mana Shiksha.
Mana Shiksha by which author, Prabhu?
Raghunath Das Goswami.
Okay.
Just like we have Updeshamrut by Rupa Goswami.
Yeah.
Updeshamrut is 11 verses. Mana Shiksha is 12 verses. It's a similar kind of a literature by Raghunath Das Goswami.
And you put it very nicely. So it's also that when we go to Dham, we should not hurry up, rather we should be doing it. We should do it more slowly and make sure we enjoy. When you say enjoy, I'm talking of we should get absorbed in those readings and pastimes and everything, right, Prabhu?
Yes, generally, sometimes it might happen that you go with a big group and then you have to cover many places in a short time, so you're rushing.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Go here. Okay, done. There. Okay, third place, fourth place, fifth place. So, okay, that is also fine. But if you can go to one place, see, going to so many places and not being absorbed, what is the point? Better go to one place and absorb yourself in Katha and hear from some senior Vaishnavas. And then, if you have many days, you can go to many places also. So that is also a good way of doing it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Ultimately, we are going to Dham to purify our consciousness. So if you are all the time in anxiety only or running around, then how it's going to help you?
Great, Prabhu. Totally agree. Now I just open the line for other devotees to share their comments as well as their questions if they have. Thanks.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, nectarian description of Krishna. Very nice, and also about the Dham and his rasas you explained so well. Prabhu, after a very, very long time we are seeing you. Can we have darshan of Govardhan, Prabhu?
Yes, I can do that towards the end of the class. If
Sure.
there is
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandas pranams to you. Prabhu, thank you so much for the wonderful class. It was really very nice to hear about the various rasas and the primary, secondary. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Prabhu, just one small question that I had. What is the rasa of the interaction between Krishna and the wives of Krishna in Dwaraka, which is the Vaikuntha?
that is also Madhuri Ras only. But the there, like all these five rasas are there in different devotees, but the level of intimacy can be different. So in Dwarka, the intimacy is there. That is also conjugal relationship, but that intimacy is lesser than that of that which is found in Vrindavan. For example, let's take the example of Vatsalya Ras. So Yashoda is also in Vatsalya Ras, and Vasudeva and Devaki, they are also in Vatsalya Ras. But then the level of intimacy is different for Yashoda and Devaki. Similarly, for Sakhya Ras, we find Arjuna is also in Sakhya Ras. And even in Vrindavan, there are some Gopas who are in Sakhya Ras, those who are elder to Krishna, then there are equal, then there are those who are junior to Krishna. So there also, although it is Sakhya Ras only, but the level of intimacy or the mood can be different there. So the very intimate Sakhya, it's called as Vishrambha Sakhya. And then there are different types of Sakhya explained also. In Premasindhu, all these explanations are given. So it is Madhurya only, conjugal, but there is an aspect of awe and reverence there, which is there. So, which is completely absent in Vrindavan conjugal relationship.
So this awe and reverence is, it pertains to Dasya, Prabhuji? Is that the way to think?
Yes, there is a element of Dasya there. So when the queens of Dwarka, they are receiving Krishna, who is their husband in the palace, definitely there is an element of Dasya there. And it's a formal relationship. So the formal is also there, and intimate is also there. But it's a mixture. So it's like that.
Okay. So the conclusion is that whatever is found in Vrindavan in Goloka is at its purest or its highest form.
Yes.
Okay.
It is explained in Upadeshamrit.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 3 verses, the hierarchy of different holy places is given. So
Okay.
there it is explained that higher than Vaikuntha is Mathura. So Vaikuntha, there are 2.5 rasas, as I explained to you. Shantaras, Vasaras, and Gaurav Sakhiras. And then why Mathura is considered higher than Vaikuntha? Although Mathura is situated on the earth planet, of course, it's a manifestation of spiritual world only. Because in Mathura, all the 5 rasas are present. But in Mathura, all the 5 rasas are present in Gaurav or in awe and reverence. It's not very intimate. So in Vaikuntha, only 2.5 rasas are there. In Mathura, all 5 rasas are there. Higher than Mathura is Vrindavan. Why? Because in Vrindavan also all 5 rasas are there, just like in Mathura, but they are not having that Gaurav aspect. So that's why that is higher. Higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan. Because in Govardhan, only 2 rasas are present. One is Madhurya and one is Vishramba Sakhya. That is the intimate form of Sakhya. So that's why Govardhan is highest. Higher than Govardhan is Radhakund. Because in Radhakund, only Madhurya Ras in its highest form, like Radharani and Gopis. So that's why that is the hierarchy of holy places which is given in Udeshamrit from the point of view of rasas.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for clarifying so nicely. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for the elaborate explanation. Many things you are revealed to us. And thank you so much, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have one question, but not pertain to today's class. Yesterday, somebody asked me, I don't know what to answer. This is from the shloka number 2.24 from Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji. So in that, it is telling Atma is Achaloyam and Sanat, unchangeable and immovable. So they asked me if it is changed, the Atma is changing, the soul is changing from one body to another body. It is moving also and is changing on also. So how can we tell it is unchangeable and immovable? What to answer, Prabhuji?
Unchangeable means it does not change its spiritual nature. So because of avidya, one might identify himself with matter. But it's not that one becomes matter. So it's unchangeable. So
immovable,
immovable, I will have to check I don't recall. I am sure Vishwanath Chakravarti has mentioned there. I remember reading it. So I'll have to check and see what is right for immovable. I can't recall right.
Okay. And eternally the same. Eternally the same means here also it is like Atma. When it goes back to the Godhead, there also it will be like Atma only.
Yes, eternally the same.
But we have that Sarupya, Salukya, Samipya, all these things, so it will change or it will be the same. That's what I got confused.
The person will remain same, isn't it? Only thing is that the person will realize that what is his soul, but the person will remain the same. It's not that he is going to transform into someone else.
Okay, thank you so much.
The impersonalistic understanding of the Maya philosophy is that Maya, the Bhagavan comes under the influence of Maya and gets divided into many parts and forgets that he is Bhagavan. It's called as Mayavad philosophy. Because he is giving so much importance to Maya, that's why it is called as Mayavad. So the understanding there is that Maya covers the identity of the Supreme Lord. So there are many flaws there. So Maya does not cover that, or Maya cannot cover over the Supreme Lord. but it can cover the vision of the living entities to see the Supreme Lord. Of course, there is no concept of living entities there in Maya. So they say that just like the moon is reflected in different pots and it looks like different moons, but the moon is same. Similarly, the Supreme Brahman is reflected in all of our bodies, but it is the Supreme Brahman only. And when we'll understand that we are not this body, we are the Supreme Lord, then we'll merge in the Brahman. That is Maya philosophy. So the correct understanding is that the example of the sun clouds is given. So
I have one
there are,
thought. Sorry. So for this unchangeable, is that swabhava, whatever the characters the soul had, is that is not changing, or anything else is unchangeable? I don't know.
yes, that's what I'm saying. The soul remains the soul. It's not that the soul is Brahman and he has forgotten that he's Brahman now, and then he is going to again become Brahman. So it's not like that. He is the soul only. He is going to remain the soul. So only thing is that now his forgetful of his situation. Then later on he's going to realize the situation. So that his nature is going to remain the same. He is infinite similar. It's not that he's going to become Brahman after liberation.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other comments or questions? So I think we don't have any more comments or questions, so we can actually end. Before we end the session, we'll just do Vaishnava Pranam. Thank you again, Prabhu, for giving your association and sharing the nectar.
Prabhu, wait, Prabhu. Prabhu will show us Govardhan.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Let me go there. Just
Sure. Thanks for reminding, Matan.
Yes. Because again, after once rain starts, again we cannot see him. Prabhu, can you spotlight? Prabhu is there. Yes. Haribol, Prabhu.
You can see Giriraj there now.
So, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Yes, Prabhu, you can. You can.
Behind the houses.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, we're also very, very happy to hear that, there has been a, what do you call, some of the site has been now acquired, so we will be getting across. We've taken over some site and in Govardhan. It's very nice to hear. Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
We just end with the Vaishnava Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you everybody for joining today's session. Hare Krishna.